Welcome to the Evening Review. This evening, I'm joined by Duminga and Ndala of the LPM Youth Command. But before we go into our interview, please have a look at today's. Thank you for joining us on the Evening Review.
Thank you for having me, Hanna.
Of late, we've seen an elevation of a number of young people. When this National Assembly members came in, we had Tara Mutu from your party, Winnie Mungo from PDM, and now recently we've had the issue of Patience Maswa being elevated. Do you think that when young people are taken from the youth wings of their party or from their political organizations, it robs the youth organizations of capacity?
Well, thank you for the question, Ohone. I think one thing we need to realize that it's very important that we have young people that occupy strategic position in the political space. For so long, young people have been complaining that we have been neglected and we have not been part of the political arena. And with that in mind, I think political parties have seen that it's important that we sort of open up the space for young people to be part of the National Assembly or in Parliament, and also so that they also contribute towards making laws. So in regards to your question, I think it doesn't necessarily rob off young people from other organizations, because what we need to note is it's to have competent young people that could contribute to the good or to the larger good of society. So whether you are coming from the youth wing directly, which is a very important component of any political party, is to groom people from as early as possible, and then they sort of grow within the structure. And also whether you have appointed because of your skills, your capabilities, and your potential, I don't think it necessarily rob off young people with it. I think what's important is to have substantive young people that are there that will contribute towards the debate in Parliament or towards the political discourse, and they are able to transform and shape society.
And, coupled with that is you also sometimes get a notion that to say that, young people still need to learn, we still need to take them off, through the ropes. Is it not too early to promote these people? Is it not better perhaps to keep them within those organizations so that we can groom them more, so that when they finally come, they're ready? What do you make of those suggestions where you often say, no, but you guys are still too young. Just wait a little bit, you will get your chance.
I think nobody is ever too young to do anything. If you have the capabilities and you show the potential and you have the skills to actually carry out your duty in the better interest of young people, firstly, if you are able to push the youth agenda that has been for so long neglected, and also if you are in the right, and if you are matured enough to actually be in the political space, to contribute to what's not already there, I think then you are never ever too young to be in such a position. So what we need to actually look for now is to have young people that will be able to contribute greatly to society. We need to have young people, especially in the August House, that will come up with effective motions that will transform the livelihood of young people, especially the youth that are found in the rural or the peri-urban setups. Because I think it's important, and we are actually proud that for the first time in the history of Namibia, we have young people that are represented in the August House. So then that's what we call descriptive representation. So now what we need to do, or what we need to look for, is what we call substantive representation. So now we need to have a load of motions that are deriving from young people in the August House. I think Winnie Mongo has done so in terms of the the sex offender registry. Honorable Ina has also tabled a motion on how we can sort of on the structural on how we can access higher education. So I think Emma also has done that. Utara has also greatly contributed to the debates in the August House. So what we then now need is to sort of have what we call a youth parliamentary caucus, whether you are from the LPM or PDM or whatsoever party, so that these young people can actually come together and table motions, substantive motions that will be able to transform the livelihoods of young people, so that we can at least say that this year we had a constructive or productive, progressive young people that actually did this and this. Yes.
I want to take you to a recent incident that occurred in the South, Malta here particularly, where one of your councillors came out and said, you know, jobs, there was sort of this notion that you get the sense that the jobs or the vacancies that were there should have been given to locals. If we just go earlier, if we just go a step back earlier, you had utterances from the ruling party saying, you know, we control the national cake and so on and so forth. Are you not guilty of having also done what the ruling party had spoken of?
Mr. Akhone, I think you're placing two different issues in one go. What transpired in Malta here, I think it's a very sad reality that after 30 years of independence, or rather 31, we still view job opportunities or whatever according to tribal lines. I think also it stems from the fact that some of these people have been deprived of the natural resources for so long. With that in question, I think the first priority of any local authority, of any regional councillor, should be that the jobs should be given to the locals. We understand that, but that does not say that it should just be specified to specific tribes. No, it's not supposed to be that. I think when you have followed carefully, we have rightly condemned her, and we have sort of taken her through an internal process, because we as a party, we are a democratic party and an inclusive party and also a diverse party. So we want to build this thing that will be in the greater good of all Namibian citizens. So I think it's quite sad, and I think she was very, very sorry about it. She also apologized publicly, and she realized that she made a mistake. So I think going forward, she has learned her lesson too. And I mean, if we have to say that jobs should be first priority should be given to locals, I think it's not a bad thing, because I think it should be a priority to empower the locals first before looking at other options. Now, in regards to the ruling party, I think that was just blatantly ignorant. And when they say they control the cake, I think it comes from a place of ignorance, and also from a place of, from a place of ignorance, and also from a place of saying that we are in charge and we are willing to do anything. We are willing to do anything provided that we stay in power for so long. So I think it's two different issues, and they should not be categorized together. Yes.
And then, you know, when one looks at the voting trends, when
Yes.
one reflects on the results from the 2020 local and regional authority elections, the majority, you did well, particularly within the South. You know, what is the thinking as the youth command, and perhaps also within the mother party, to look at expansion beyond just Haras and Hardap, you know, to grow your base in Omaheke, Kunene, and so forth?
I think we as a party have done quite well. We have made quite amazing inroads, especially in the Karas and Hardap region, as you have alluded. And also within other local authorities, I think we have done quite well. To look at Okanja, I think we are the mayor there. When you look at also the city of Windhoek, we have 2 seats. I mean, compared to also other political parties that has been in power for so long, like the PDM, they only have 1 seat. So I think we have done quite well. And the plan is obviously to expand, to make inroads in other regions. So that's why we have we are going to have a policy conference also where we are going to go back to the drawing board, reflect on how we can make inroads in other regions, because our mandate is obviously to take over government, and we are determined and committed to do so. So our plan is obviously we have already started sending our representative in other regions. As we speak right now, we have a delegate of very 5 strong men that are in Oshana region, and they've done quite well. We are now actually educating the people on our constitution, our manifesto, and so forth and so on. We also had a delegation last week. We traveled to Obitoto too. So we are actually making quite good progress for just a young party, and we are pleased where we found ourselves in. So I think it's very important that people just don't view us as just merely governing the 2 regions in the south, but actually we have done quite well in other regions too. I mean, we have a seat as far as Okakarara and Ovitoto, Otavi, so we are proud where we found ourselves.
And then there's the issue of the National Council versus Management Council in the Karas region. Why this insistence to serve on the Management Committee as well as on the National Council when the law is clear to say that it's one or the other?
I don't think there's some sort of insistence or so. I think the issue with the Karas Management and National Council is you all know that LPM has 4 seats in the Karas. In Karas, we have won 4 constituency, so it means we are the majority. So as per law, we had to send 3 representatives to the National Council, which we did, and then also the first day we had to sort of vote for the chairperson of the regional council of Karas region, in which we did. Is one of our councillors, Councillor Joseph Isaacs. So now there were 2 vacant positions. So we thought of, okay, since we are a party that is very accommodative and we would like to govern in the best interest of the people, especially of the Karas region. So we decided that these 2 seats should be occupied by the SWAPO councillors, which they have denied and they have rejected. For 3 times we have called for a meeting, but they do not show up. So it means that they are not ready to govern, and they have never been ready to govern actually. So that's the issue. Their request was like we should forfeit one of the seats in the National Council so that they go there to the National Council. But we say, but why is that the case if we have the majority seats? So
But can I quickly chip in? If we go to the National Council, SWAPO has in effect already holds the majority.
Exactly. So it means they are very greedy with power. What we are lacking in Namibia is ethical leaders. People greed has taken over our leaders. They are just worried with bread and butter issues, and there is there's a trend of politics of the belly, as you can see, is at play. So what we told them that no, you guys can still actually co-govern the region, Karas region, with LPM, because you are going to be on the management, you are going to be part of the management, but they refused. We have done so. We have consulted them, we have called them for meetings, but they continue to actually abscond from the meetings. So what we did is we took this issue to court, and then the magistrate actually ruled in our favor and said that the law does not say that. The law says that it does not say that if you are a member of National Council, then you cannot form part of the Management Council. It doesn't say that, but it however says that if you are a member of the Management Council, then you cannot move to the National Council. That's why we managed to form a quorum. Yeah.
And then, you know, the issue of discussion within your party, or the issue that of discussion that surrounds your party rather, is the forceful removal of one of your MPs. Of course, the other MP walked out, but as he walked out of the chamber, he knocked off the ceremonial mace. If one looks at that conduct, and particularly as a youth member of the LPM, you know, does it inspire confidence? You know, because I would think or imagine that if I'm in the chambers, you know, should conduct myself, I should carry myself with a certain sense of respect. Your comment in that regard?
Khone, that's a very tricky question. I think it's important to know that firstly, the space, the engagement in Parliament would always be robust, no matter what, because Parliament is an arena of robust engagement. It's an arena where we have to fight for our people, because we were actually voted by the people to be there to fight for their plight. So I think in terms of the conduct, I don't think, what we need to actually ask ourselves is it right for people to be stealing for us and continue to be looting from this country's resources, and we don't do anything about it? But then we are the first people to actually criticize the parliamentary conduct that we see in Parliament. So I think we need to view it as such. And I also think in regards to the ceremonial maze, I think it's one thing that we need to, it's quite European, or it depicts colonialism. I think it's one thing that we need to do away with it. We should probably have a picture of Kalme Kruma or something in there instead of having that maze. We do not even know the significance of it or the meaning of it. We don't even know where it's deriving from. So I think I'm leaving you at it.
All the best with your upcoming elective workshop, or planning workshop, excuse me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning into the Evening Review. Do have yourself a pleasant evening. But before you knock off, have a look at the weather.